Greetings, residents of Pietermaritzburg and all the viewers of our Msunduzi News podcast. My name is Anele Makanya and I'll be your host for today's episode. Today we are joined by the amazing lady, Mrs. Hadebe Usiba, who is the finalist of Mrs. South Africa 2024. Mrs. Hadebe, greetings and welcome to Msunduzi News podcast.
Hello, Anele. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. My name is Sibapiwe Hadebe. I am a PMB resident for over 21 years now. I'm originally from the Eastern Cape, Flagstaff to be specific. I'm a Mrs. South Africa finalist. I've gone all the way now and I'm proud to represent Pietermaritzburg.
Oh, thank you so much for that amazing intro. So, Mrs. Hadebe, maybe if you can briefly share with the residents of Pietermaritzburg your journey of becoming Mrs. South Africa. What inspired you to be the contestant in this amazing, contagious thing that is happening in South Africa?
Yeah, it's such a huge thing, ne? So even for me, sometimes I'm like, am I really doing this? But I really, really enjoy it. And it's been part of my life since I was 3 years old, hey?
Oh, wow.
So my late mom introduced me to modeling. And then I basically started at 3 years old, all the way from primary, all the way to university. And obviously, at a point in time, I had to realize that, there's things that need to be done in terms of life, especially when my mother passed on when I was 21. So it's been in my blood since then. So I was actually studying at UKZN, Pietermaritzburg.
Okay.
So I've even gotten my degree from Pietermaritzburg. Yes. So and I entered Miss UKZN at the time. It was UNP at the time. And I was in the top 5. So it's been in my blood. So I decided to join Mrs. South Africa because I wanted to actually relive that life and just to inspire people around me. It's such a huge platform for me. To grow myself as a brand. So it's something that I really wanted to be part of.
Okay, that is really interesting. So I'm just thinking as you are telling us your journey that a lot of people, or what we know the rules of being Miss South Africa, you don't have to have a husband, and there are a lot of rules. And then I'm sure that you were so glad when the Mrs. South Africa part was introduced because you got to show your talent, you got to do the things that you wanted to do for the very long time. Maybe if you can tell us who introduced you to Mrs. South Africa and how was, because there are a lot of models in Pietermaritzburg who also want to tap into that part of becoming Mrs. South Africa or Miss South Africa. How did you get that into the space of that opportunity?
Okay, I think for me, there was a point in my life where I was like, you know what, I need to go back to modeling. But obviously, as you say, Miss South Africa wouldn't take a married woman. And I started with fashion modeling.
Okay.
Yes, I started with one of the SMEs within Pietermaritzburg, where I started my fashion modeling. And at some point, I was like, I'm enjoying this so much. It was like a hobby.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, this thing is still inside me, so I need to go back. Then I started doing some research. What's out there? What can I do? And then I came across Mrs. South Africa. And when I look at the requirements, things like you just need to be married. There isn't anything that says you need to appear a certain way.
There's no body or size or whatsoever.
No. They just have, requirements. You must be married. A valid marriage certificate.
Okay.
And I entered in 2023, December. Funny enough, it was just right at the end because I kept on procrastinating for some time. And then I realized I just need to use the platform not only for me. I really liked what I saw, which is basically not just modeling, but also community upliftment, which is why I really was drawn towards it.
Oh, okay, that's interesting, and more especially on that community upliftment part, because I've seen that when you are doing this, I'm not sure if I should call it like a campaign or what, but when you are in that industry, like you are communicating with a lot of people, you have a lot of engagement where you are helping people, you are promoting products for stores and everything.
Yes.
So maybe as someone who balances multiple roles and responsibility, how has your experience in Mrs. South Africa impacted your own personal growth and ambitions?
Okay. So maybe I should start by just giving a shout out to my sponsors. So there's a lot of growth that happens within Mrs. South Africa. So first of all, there's the part where we need to find our own sponsors.
Okay.
As you say, promoting products and all of that. So we need to find our sponsors based obviously on how you can present yourself as a brand. Mrs. South Africa teaches us things like how do you manage your social media, how do you go about getting into the media, like where I am now, you know, how do you present yourself as a Mrs. South Africa finalist?
How do you look pretty on camera?
You know, but most importantly, they really advocate for be authentic, be yourself, and that's why you will see me. You know, I'm a people's person. Maybe you are picking that up because I'm just a people's person. I enjoy being around people, and for me, I think the important part was the sponsorship part. PMB women came through for me. Small SME businesses. I can even mention a few.
Big up to PMB.
Yes. Big up to Kawegazi. Big up to Be Human. Big up to Capital on French. And big up to ZBN Tax and Accounting Services. They're coming on board as we speak for this phase. They were, I mean, some of them were part of my semi-finalist journey. They've decided to continue, and I really appreciate that a lot. So yeah, there's a lot of growth there.
As Pietermaritzburg, what we normally say as the municipality is that together we can.
Yes,
if
definitely.
we come together and determine ourselves to say we are doing this thing, we can achieve better and more. So tell me, being a finalist in such a competitive platform requires dedication and resilience. Could you describe a significant challenge that you faced while you while during this journey and how you overcame it?
I think there's lots of challenges within the competition itself. I think one of the things that, you know, I'll just be on the soft side. You know, us women and swimwear.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think for me, I've been very uncomfortable with, no, I can't wear swimwear. You know, you know, in terms of, no, swimwear, it's not just for, you know, for anyone.
I'm
so
sure you even tried on those skate ones.
And then I kept on saying, no, maybe I must cover here. Maybe maybe I must do this. But with Mrs. South Africa, they did say from the beginning, guys, you are going to wear that swimwear, right? And all of us were wondering, oh my goodness, how am I supposed to wear a swimwear and walk around with it? So I think for me, that's one thing I truly had to overcome. I know it may sound like, you know, it's not as big, but I think for me, it's very big, especially as a woman. And, you know, as women, we've got our insecurities. So at some point, I found myself just wearing my swimwear, and I was happy to wear it. And I think maybe you would have seen some on social media. And I mean, a lot of compliments are coming through. And I think us as women have actually taken upon ourselves to compliment each other, which I feel is very powerful, especially as a woman.
Speaking on that, as we need to empower each other as women, I know that Mrs. South Africa emphasizes empowerment and leadership amongst women. How do you envision using your platform to inspire and uplift other women, especially in Pietermaritzburg? You've mentioned that you've received a lot of support from Pietermaritzburg women, like who are in business, about Kawegazi and everything.
Yes.
And then what is it that you want to do yourself to make sure that you uplift other women in Pietermaritzburg or encourage even young people or Mrs. ukuthi bangenele competition?
About Mrs. Bangenele competition. So as you say, one of my sponsors is To Be Human. She talks about what it means to be human, as you can hear. So one of the things that I really am one for is that I just need to extend myself to be a woman of influence for my community. You'll never know who is looking up to you. And at the same time, I get to be a role model to that young girl, that woman who has given up hope and thinking that life is no longer meaningful. And for me, I just want to utilize the platform to influence through fashion modeling, through my IT audit skills. I'm an IT auditor by profession, by the way. So
the girls are making
right.
it
So
sing,
I also want to utilize the platform just to make sure that I can, influence as much as I can. I can also assist with just getting out there, speaking about myself, speaking about my profession, because there's one thing that's very close to my heart, which is I've seen a number of people, I'll say people, the young people, where they get into matric. They get into matric, they finish their matric, and now they want to get to university. But because their marks are not up to par, they don't qualify to enter into university. So I've seen a lot of those children sitting at home and not having a future. So what I'm trying to combat now for the community is just to go around, partner up with other NPOs. I'm here to be used because at this point in time, I don't have much projects, but I mean, as a PMB person, I would really like to be utilized for that. Go around speaking to our children, help them understand what it means to choose their subjects for a certain career, so that at least we've got a higher acceptance rate at a higher institution. So, yeah.
Okay, I think we are almost at the end of our podcast. I will just ask the last question from you, which is looking ahead, what are your aspirations beyond Mrs. South Africa 2024? How do you plan to continue advocating your causes that are important to you, both locally and globally?
Okay. So first of all, as I said, there's a lot of skills that I've learned within Mrs. South Africa. So what I'm planning to do is I want to implement a program online. I'm going to be sort of establishing a little cause that is close to my heart, where I will be using the platform to advocate for the right career paths, the right information to be distributed to the people that are not at rich.
Plug, guys. Plug.
Yes, where we can unpack, what it means to choose a subject at grade, maybe like the lowest grade at grade 7, because I feel like we get into grade 10 and kids are like, no, I'm just going to choose this subject, and they don't really understand the impact for the future. At the same time, I think it's very important for me to utilize the platforms I've been to Mgungundlovu municipality radio station, and I feel like those platforms are very useful in terms of how we communicate, and I'll be hosting a charity event sometime in September to raise funds, to raise funds for one of the charities that I have chosen. And I will continue to involve myself to be a speaker. I've been invited here as well, and I've got events that I've been invited to. Yes, more invitation. And then, at some point I will start my own business around IT auditing, just to help with what does IT audit entail? How can I help small businesses to make sure their controls are on par? Because we all use IT. So at some point, I am looking at impacting the community in that way.
That's amazing. That's pretty amazing. We're really looking forward to September for that charity engagement you'll be having. And also, Sibapiwe, can you just give us a last message to all the ladies out there, since we are in the Women's Month? I know that some are discouraged, as you've said on your previous answer, that most ladies are like, they just get those low marks and then they are feel like they are done with their future. Maybe what words of encouragement can you give to the ladies in business, those who are working, those who need to do other side hustles? Because you told us that you are a professional IT audit. So tell us just that encouragement to all the women of Pietermaritzburg and all over the country. What can you say?
So if there's one thing I always say, Anil, I always say we've got 24 hours in a day, right? That's what I live for. For 24 hours a day, and every single minute counts. You might think, you might think that you don't have time, but that procrastination, it really, really eats our dreams up, because all you're thinking of is, I don't have time. And when you think you don't have time, then you're not going to make time. So So I always advocate for the fact that when you do something, when you get a chance to do something, give it your best shot.
Okay.
And if you want to, if there's something that's eating you inside, you know, that's saying, you know, you still need to start that small business. Oh, I need to start, you know, running. And, you know, like small things. Just do it, you know, because there's no better time than now. Exactly with me, my journey also started, I really procrastinated myself. For 5 years, I've been looking at Mrs. South Africa thinking, hey, should I enter? Should I not enter?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and eventually something said to me, if you don't do it now, Sibapiwe, when are you not gonna do it? So you might as well just get on with it and do it. So I encourage each and everyone to use the time that they have every single day just to make, you know, even if it's a small step, but small steps lead to bigger things.
Bigger things, exactly. Oh, that's amazing. So Siba is just saying to all of us, the time is now. The time to start is now. Stop procrastinating. The time to start is now. Residents of Pietermaritzburg, now it's time for Siba to give us a shot on how we should support her during this journey of Mrs. South Africa.
Yes.
Tell us, how do we vote? Do we keep liking on your photos? What happens? What do you want us to do? Because we want to support you.
Well, there's a lot of support that I welcome. As I said, most of the events happen in Johannesburg.
Okay.
So like in November, there's going to be the finals. And within the finals, obviously, I need to have support up there. I would appreciate people.
Team PMB.
You know, Team PMB, come and represent. And because you get an opportunity to buy tickets from me, you can always DM me for that. And I can give you the details. And the most important part is PMB gets to choose Mrs. Public Choice.
Okay.
So how is that done? Is basically you can SMS my name. My name is very tricky, and we need to make sure we spell this right, hey? Because the votes, yes, the votes get spoiled, hey? So my name is Sibapi. There's no H there. WE Hadebe. So it's Sibapiwe Hadebe. Okay. It's written the Xhosa way. That's why it's like that. There's no H. You SMS to 47587. And there's going to be an online vote as well. Okay. I'm still waiting for the voting card. It's going to be in black and white. I'll be wearing black and white.
Okay.
And they can like that photo both on Facebook and Instagram, and follow Mrs. South Africa. Otherwise, the vote won't count.
Okay.
Yes.
Nizwele ke babalaleli basemgungundlovu Sibapiwe Hadebe. That's how we are going to be voting for her. So let's make sure that we support. Stay tuned on all our social media platforms for more information, because we'll be supporting her all the way.